Hello and welcome to this tutorial on how to use Slideck. Slideck is probably my favorite slider plugin application for WordPress because it does a whole slew of different types of things. It has two types of sliders that basically you can enable on your site. You can have what's called a dynamic source slide deck, which basically imports and populates content from your social networks. You can see some of them right here: YouTube, Vimeo, Google+, Twitter, Instagram, and so on and so forth, including an RSS feed if you have an outside blog or anything that supports RSS. Or you can create a custom one with custom content where you can showcase your own photos, text slides, videos from YouTube and Vimeo, and HTML if you want to dig into putting some custom code onto your individual slides to make them format and look however you need to. We're only going to cover today the custom content section, and we're going to specifically hone in on these three. So if you if you're not already there, venture on over to Slideck2. You can click on the Slideck2. It'll automatically have the manage option, and you'll be on this screen. And go ahead and create a slide deck. It'll take you to this page here, and it'll ask you what kind of slide type would you like. You could create as many of these slide types as you want, and it'll keep going on, I believe, till infinity. So we're going to go ahead and start off with an image slide. If you notice, there's two options. There's one image slide button that allow you to upload individual images, but if you wanted to upload a bunch of images at the same time, you have that option here under this upload multiple link. Let's just go ahead and just do one for now. So I'm going to click image slide, and to add an image, now you can add an image through three ways. You can upload an image from your computer. You can reference an outside image from a by inputting its URL or web address, or if you've already uploaded the photo previously, you can access your WordPress media library. We're going to do an upload an image just to show you how that would work. And by the way, if you decide, you know what, I don't want an image after all, there's the change option. You could switch to a video slide or a text slide or an HTML slide. Now remember that you can't mix dynamic sources like we mentioned at the top, where it automatically extracts or imports your social networking feeds with these custom slides. Unfortunately, there's not a current method to do that. So to add an image, you're just going to hit Browse Image, and you're going to, of course, land on your picture or your file editor. I'm going to go ahead and upload a photo here and initiate that. Once this bar finishes, you have the option to choose whether you want a caption on it to be horizontally oriented, portrait oriented, or no caption at all. Let's go and have a caption in here. We're going to leave it there. You can place a link on if you want to reference, if you want it whenever that picture is clicked on to go to a specific page. You can title the caption here, and then you can, of course, put in all your description with all the familiar WordPress tools here. Then this is the next important option. You can give it a preferred image size. So by default, it does 120% of the image, which is going to basically enlarge your photo 20% more. You might not like that depending on the photo that you're using and what resolution you've uploaded. So maybe you want to just go back to 100%. You can also choose some of these other predefined options, including original image. Just kind of play with that and see what you like. We're going to go ahead and just do 100. The scaling, there's a few options for that. If you do not want it, because basically depending on the orientation of your slider, if it's a rectangle orientation but your photo is, say, a portrait orientation, you can opt to scale it all the way up so it fills that rectangle. But of course, when you do that sort of thing, because it's going to be expanding it proportionally, you're going to crop the image as a result. So you could choose this option if you do that. Now you can also scale it but not crop it. Of course, when you do that with a portrait image on a rectangular orientation, it's going to fill in vertically and then it's going to stop, and then of course you're going to have black bars to the left and to the right. And you can just opt to do not scale at all, just show however it is. So let's go ahead and scale it proportionally and not have it crop. And the last option is to choose the caption position. You can choose top or bottom. Of course, if I chose this one up here, you could choose left or right. We'll just leave it default. You apply it. There's your first slide. Your preview comes up. And guess what? There's way more options where that came from. So this can get as customized of an experience as you would like it to be. So you'll see here you've got some what's called lenses, and these are, just think of them like templates. By default, it's the toolkit, and this is kind of the way the slideshow would work. You can just kind of toy with one of these, each of these, and you'll notice it automatically previews what that would look like. Just going to go by one, pick the one that you like the best. Each one of these has its own sets of options that you'll see, and those options are all available on this left bar here. I'm not going to go too in-depth into detail on these except for the very basics because there's so many of them, but just know that this one, we'll start with size actually. You can pick predefined sizes here of your slideshow and it'll automatically adjust. You see how it doesn't crop the image because we said go ahead and scale it to its max width and height, but don't crop it so it's showing the entire picture. But yeah, there's of course some gap left. And you can also, back to sizing, you can also customize the size by hitting custom and just picking the size manually, but we're going to just go ahead and leave the predefined size. So I'd kind of toy with some of these other options. Appearance will allow you to choose the color of your text. Well, let's just pick something. You'll see it live right then and there. You can pick your font styles, however you want to show the headline font, or the title font in this case it's called. Body font, if I would have typed in some text below like you saw before, that would have been the control for that. And you even have variations within the lenses, or again they're called lenses, but they're really like templates. You can choose a light version or a dark version. Some of them I believe have more than that. You can choose a border around it, or a hairline border, or no border at all around the whole slideshow. It's up to you. I'll just skip hyphenated content. You can link the entire slide if you want to have it to where they click anywhere on here that they'll go somewhere. You can opt where how it opens once they click. You can here's some more options. Touch navigation if they're on a mobile device. Do you want them to be able to swipe with their fingers? And usually you're going to want to press on. I don't know why they have it default by off, but I prefer it to be on because I imagine people are going to be looking at this on a mobile site as well. So yeah, why not turn it on? You can choose the navigation types. There's dots. You can choose to have thumbnails on here. You see there's a thumbnail option. You can just kind of toggle back and forth. Again, it's an awesome tool to just kind of see what you're doing live on this little preview while you're kind of maneuvering around. Changing the arrows. You can change the thumbnail arrow style if you want. It goes on and on. Here's the last option. You can choose to randomize the order of the slides or have them show up by default, which is just the order that you uploaded them in. You can, if you want this slideshow to automatically start playing when your page loads, you can do that. And then just on and on. You play with the actual animation of the piece. You'll notice it's not actually animating. It's because we haven't added a second slide. Let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to just upload an individual image one more time. And I'm just going to pick all the default options. I'm going to go ahead and upload this koala bear. And is it a koala in cyberspace? It is. There you go. I'm going to leave everything default. I'm not going to change anything. I'm just going to apply it. And now you of course get the slideshow, and of course it's not auto playing, but if you click this on button when you load your page, it'll just start auto playing. You can also choose when the user clicks on an image, puts their mouse over it, whether it stops. That's one of the settings over here. You can also choose the different kinds of animations. So I'm going to choose card stack, for example. You'll see there's one style. You can even go further into the easing of that, how fast, how slow, and you can get even more in depth with the speed of that. So you can get, see how it kind of transitions a little bit more smoothly at the end. That's easing. So you could just go on, you can customize this animation pretty well, pretty amazingly. It's a great, a fantastic app, like I mentioned. Of course, when you're done, you'll save the slide deck. Let's go ahead and save it. You'll get this little pop-up window that'll tell you how to actually put it into your page. Method 1, you'll see a little button here that'll come up on your page, and we'll show you what that looks like in a second. But that, you can click on any page or post. You'll see that button, and you can insert your slideshow onto the page. Method 2 is to actually create a new page or post with your new slide deck. You can just click it from here. Or method 3, you can copy this, what's called a short code. Click this link right here. It copies it to your clipboard. You can literally go to the page of your choice, go in here, and you can paste that short code right there. That's one way. Or, you know, if you didn't copy it, you can click that button that I showed you earlier, select the slideshow, put it in, you're done. And when you hit update, view the page, there's your slideshow, now live on your site. And again, you know, you can mix the media with your slide. We're going to go back and edit the slideshow. You can choose a video slide, as I mentioned before. All you gotta do is pick the web address of the YouTube video. They do Daily Motion and Vimeo, and then you do the same exact options that you saw earlier, almost exactly, except maybe the scaling has one less option, but it's pretty much the same deal. Again, you can switch back and forth. You can do a plain text slide. Some people like to do that. You can arrange it in these these are predefined layouts. And then you can also do an HTML slider, excuse me, and actually put in your custom HTML if you know how to code an HTML. So that's it for this tutorial. Hope you enjoyed it. We will see you on the next